Welcome back, Yaphank, New York. This is baseball heaven in the 2015 All-Star Challenge. East and West getting ready to go. We just got done with the South and the Central, a 12-9 affair. Nelly in game one. What are you looking for in game two?
Well, pretty much the same thing. I mean, what pitcher can shut out the other team? And we saw the offensive production in the first game, and Central coming back and scoring 11 runs in those middle innings. Let's see how this game pans out. Who can shut out the other team on the mound?
All right, a lot of fun checking out this young talent here, 12U All-Star Challenge, best players in the country, with startups and the first pitch coming up in just a moment.
Americans drink 48.
Plenty of sunshine as the West takes the field. Game two of our 2015 All-Star Challenge here at the National Youth Baseball Championships. I'm Dave Raymond with Jeff Nelson on this gorgeous afternoon. Let's take a look at the starting lineup today for the East team. Brady Browning up at the top, Dalton Strickland, Asa Runge, Deontay Starks, Matt Pelcher, Jordan DeLucia, Logan Myers, Kim Kuchera, TJ Wachter, who will be pitching today, and then the extra hitter is Grant Aycott. For the West, Henry Runge, a right-hander, 5'9", out of San Diego.
He's got the French name. He's got good fastball, nice little mechanics. This is all, we mentioned so many times of the first inning and how the pitchers are settling down. Let's see if Meunier can settle down a little bit and throw some strikes.
So in game one, the South team said, you know what, we'll be the visiting team, no worries. We'll go ahead and concede. And it looked like it might work out. They got a grand slam in the first inning, ended up taking a 7-0 lead in the top of the fourth. But the Central came back and ended up winning game one of our doubleheader today, 12-9. In this case, these two teams, they weren't able to decide, so they flipped a coin. And that is why the West is the home team in this case. East getting the first at bat, but we talked at length in game one. There is something about sometimes just getting to hit first. It's a little more relaxing. Everybody can settle in.
Well, yeah, exactly. Unless you fall behind and you would like to have those last ups in the bottom half of the seventh inning. I would much rather be the home team and have our guys out in the field, because there's where the nerves are. You're talking about a pitcher as far as leading off the game, getting that first out, getting that first strike. I'd much rather hit last, knowing, okay, I'll get my team's butterflies out, even though maybe you might score some runs here in the top half of the fourth inning like the South did in that first game.
Now, Meunier starts it with ball one.
So you do. You get a lot of teams that like that first at bat. See, Meunier was throwing strikes, and he was throwing nice and easy in warm-ups. And once that hitter gets in there, it gets a little bit different. It's a different feeling. You got a guy up at the plate. His first pitch, he overthrew a little bit. Now his second one, he comes back in for a strike.
Grooves that second offering, 1-1 the count. And this one popped up by Browning. Back of second base and handled by Corona, one away.
All right, those two good fastballs, one for a ball. The next pitch he dials it in, and then next thing you know, he drops a little breaking ball, got inside on Browning, popped it up to second base. That first out is always a good breather. You dialing it in.
Well, here's Dalton Strickland, and he takes one off the helmet and runs down to first base. Fortunately, able to make it a glancing blow, number one, and secondly, it was an off-speed pitch.
Right, it was just a breaking ball that skimmed off the top of his helmet.
Hey, Nick.
Just spun. He didn't get through the breaking ball, and a little surprised. You've only thrown 4 pitches, and 2 of them are breaking balls. You haven't established your fastball whatsoever. And now we're talking about the running game. We saw in the first game a lot of stolen bases by both sides. The pitchers had a hard time holding the runners on. They got great jumps, and tough luck for the catcher. No matter what kind of arm you have, you're not going to be able to throw some of these guys out at second or third. So it's awful important for the pitcher to hold the guys on. We'll see slide steps. We'll see throws over. Anything you can do to keep that runner closer to first base.
Asa Runge up there at the left side of the plate. And got a good pitch to hit. Slices it foul. It's interesting, their head coach had to take off a little earlier this morning. Eddie Gonzalez, he's driving his brother Jerry to New Jersey because Jerry was just picked up by the Wichita Wingnuts independent league team. So Eddie took off to drive him to his game tonight. So this team was somewhat without a coach here for a few hours. As Runge takes a strike, and when they were warming up before the game, 15, 20 minutes before the game, it was Runge who was out there hitting fungos to the guys in the outfield and just sort of leading the warm-ups today.
And then Charles Brown, who coached the South in the first game, is now coaching.
Runner going, pitches way up there, and throw wild towards second.
Well, this is what we're talking about. You get guys on base, and they're going to run. Both sides are going to run. They're going to steal second. They're going to steal third. It's up to the pitcher to try to hold these guys. Awful difficult at this age. I like this style of baseball. This is Major League style baseball. You get the lead off. The running game's more important. The defense becomes more important. You don't want to give guys free passes, walks, hit batters. Don't want to make mistakes. Let them hit their way on. Interesting stance here by Asa Runge. Got the little left-handed hitter. See the feet real close together. And he takes a huge stride.
He's down swinging for the second out of the inning. That brings up Deontay Starks.
Another good off-speed pitch by Meunier.
Pretty nice start so far for the right-handers. Now Starks in there, right-handed hitter. Breaking ball does catch the corner. Strickland takes off for third once he saw that one glance off of Tina Harrow's glove.
Yeah, they got the ejecto mitts. They had the ejecto mitts going on in the first inning. A lot of balls getting out of the catcher's gloves. Here we see it again.
Strickland down at third. This ball bounced sharply to third base. Picked cleanly down there, and a nice throw across the diamond to get Starks. Nice job by Chasen Love, the third baseman. And it's a goose egg at the top of the first for the East. Defense.
Nice hard shot. Great play by Love. Gets up, picks it up, throws him out. Nice play for the third out.
When did food become art?
The West with their shot. We take a look at their starting lineup. Nelly Klingman leading it off. Then it's Corona, Tina Harrow, and Halpin, Meunier, King, Chasen Love. Aren't we all, Nelly? Ian Graff, C.J. Picone, and Caden Chambers, the extra hitter. T.J. Wachter gets the start for the East.
Shoreham, New York, close by. There he goes pitching.
The home game for him.
You asked him before. He says, "Hey, you throw hard." Shoreham. New York.
Hey, he's from New York.
NY. Hope he's a Yankee fan. Is he a Yankee fan? Why don't you look up the small print?
Hey, start us off, Al. Come on now. Come on, Allie.
Good fastball to lead it off. I saw him in the warm-up. He's got a fastball, breaking ball, a little change up.
Leaves that a little high for Klingman.
Nice, easy mechanics.
But Klingman 4'11".
See, all sizes. See,
yeah.
baseball is one of those games you don't have to be big. Mentioned the first game, Jose Altuve for the Astros, one of the best hitters in the American League, maybe in baseball.
Pitch you go.
5'5".
Get me on base right away.
I agree. Now, I think that's one of the reasons baseball really appeals to so many people. Ooh, look out. A little bit tight. I watch an NBA game, and there's no question in my mind that I could never do any of the things that they're doing. Same in the NFL, right? But I mean, you see John Kruk, and you think, well, I could do that. High pop-up, right field, and handled out there by Cochero. One away.
Well, absolutely. I mean, to survive in to survive in football, I mean, you have some little guys. You look at some of those receivers; those guys aren't very big either, or very tall, and they get crushed. But they're fast enough that they can get away and run away from things. But the linemen are always big. You have to be a big dude. Basketball, you better be tall, or you're not going to survive there either. Baseball is one of those sports. Even hockey, I can't skate, so forget it.
No.
But baseball is one of those sports. Doesn't matter the size. You get 6'10" guys, all the way down to under 5 feet.
Corona rolls it up the middle and beats it out. Used his speed. And that's an infield hit for Emilio Corona.
Yeah, absolutely. Browning, the second baseman, had no shot for the East. See a little ground ball up the middle. Nice play even to try to get to it. Quick throw, quick release. One hops off that turf. No chance to get Corona.
So a one-out base runner now for the West. And a snap throw down there to first base. So we're going to see Pelcher use that arm a little bit
Showing
today
the
behind the plate.
off.
Yep, I like it. Got to give those catchers some due. Work hard back there. Runner is going, and this ball is hit out toward the gap right center. Drops in, base hit. Good start for Corona. They'll send him to the plate, and he scores easily. And the West jumps on the board first.
A good fastball down in the zone, and Tinajero smoked it to right center field, and the outfielders were playing in. They weren't playing very deep. You see him go the other way. Knew it was going to be in the gap, and Corona did an outstanding job. He was running on the play anyway, so he scores easily with the ball in the gap, especially with the outfielders playing as close as they were. Starks and also Kuchera were playing in right field and center field.
So run in for the West.
That was a long single.
It was.
But Tinajero.
And now a throw over to first base. And Tinajero will hold. Thought about it for a moment as that one skipped away from Runge.
Well, we've seen two different moves from Wachter. He's also in the windup. He slide stepped, and then he also picks up that leg. On that last play, picked up that leg and gave Corona a huge, the ability to get a huge jump off first base, easily scoring in that ball in the gap.
Petey Halpin, San Mateo, California, up in the North Bay. He comes up empty, 1-1. The count on him. Center fielder for the West. That one skips away from Pelcher. Tinajero thrown out at second base.
Well, that was a great play by Pelcher. The ball gets off the backstop. He picks it up and doesn't even hesitate. Tinajero, probably not the fastest guy. Nice throw. Perfect. It had to be a perfect throw. Great play right there by Pelcher.
Well, that's a huge out.
Oh, absolutely. It settles you down a little bit. Now you get to throw from the windup again if you're Wachter. He's much more comfortable. There's one of those delayed strikes calls. He's on the first game. The hitter's thinking it's ball 4.
Yeah, and I'll give him credit. Halpin went to home plate umpire Dan Ferguson apologized. Said, "Oh, that's my fault." And that's a good move.
You know what I'd be saying? Let's call it a strike a little earlier. Come on.
A little something to that.
You're making me look bad.
That's right. You're showing me up. 3-2, and he loses them. So Halpin eventually does get the walk. And it brings up Mounier.
Well, here you get those 2 outs, and again, you talk about the first inning as far as settling down and getting those nerves out, getting the butterflies out, and then you settle into a rhythm, and it's just like with 2 outs. You almost have to bear down even more. It's easy. Pitchers, you'll see it so many times, especially at this age. They relax a little bit. There's a nice line drive picked up by Browning at second base in this inning.
Excellent defensive play in the inning. Actually, both teams will go to the second in a 1-0 game.
This
Lake, New York, baseball heaven. And it is the All-Star Challenge here. As you take a look, Keith Osick is the, well, first base coach, at least fill-in first base coach today for the East team. We saw him in the opening game as well. 10-year big league career, a catcher, mostly in the National League. Say briefly with the Brewers, mostly with the Pirates. And he's from the area.
Yeah, so that would be pretty much all of his career in the National League, right?
No, I think there was one other stop, and I'm
Was there?
drawing a blank on it right now.
He was in that other league when I was playing.
You never saw him in the American League, is what
No,
you're
I don't think so. But another local guy. He's celebrity coach. He's got Frank Calianato on the, what is it,
He's
west
on the
side?
Osick with the East. Osick born in Port Jefferson, not far from here. Close enough you could drive there for dinner if you needed to. As a bouncer back to the mound. And picked up by Meunier. Takes care of Pelcher, one away.
Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate. Good play by Meunier. A little ball back to him. Little pick. You watch this. Fastball on the outside part. See, pitcher's always the best athletes, of course.
Well, the thing is, he comes off in good position, right? He's in good defensive position. Were you one of those
Right there.
guys?
Oh yeah. You know what? I had to. You know, they say if you're a good fielding pitcher, you'll cut down probably a run off your earned run average.
Is that right?
Well, I mean, a lot of balls get hit off the middle. You get some bunt plays. You'll see so many times in the big leagues that these guys on bunt plays up the first baseline, third baseline, they're throwing them away, throwing them down the right field line. You know, comebackers they can't handle. Even plays when you're throwing a double play, trying to turn a double play to second base. You don't see good throws, and you're constantly. It's like Groundhog Day in spring training, taking pitchers fielding practice.
Jordan DeLucia takes a breaking ball for a strike. 1-2 the count. Young man from Baltimore.
My area, my hometown, homie.
You and what? The Babe, right? The Babe
Al
was from Baltimore.
Kaline,
Tapper, first base side foul.
Cal Ripken. Nobody bigger than Jeff Nelson, though.
Certainly not taller.
They win any World Series? No. Yeah, you mentioned Port Jeff. We were there last night.
Lovely little town.
I drive you like 20, 30 minutes to this town, and you eat salad.
Well, I had a salad. I ate other things. DeLucia takes one high.
You're crying to wait staff. It was 100 degrees outside. We sat outside. Power goes out as soon as we get there.
Right as we walked in.
And you had to have your salad.
Wanted one anyway, the 2-2. Full count now on DeLucia.
I have to go back.
Yeah, you do well to mix in a salad every now and then.
What are you saying?
Full count.
A little roughage.
And DeLucia down swinging, 2 away. So
Nice fastball by Meunier. He's really settled down. Great first inning. He hit Strickland with a little breaking ball, but you see right here a fastball up in the zone. No chance for DeLucia. A little bit different game than the first.
yeah,
We had all kinds of run scoring by both sides.
We did, but in this one too, we're seeing some defense on top of the good pitching. We saw the play in the first inning at third base by Jason Love. And at the bottom of the inning, the line drive caught by Browning. The great play behind the plate by Pelcher. Logan Myers takes a strike. He's in a hole 0-2.
2 good breaking pitches by Meunier.
Yanks that one a little bit wide.
It's funny, you watch, you get so good, and even in the major leagues and even the minor leagues, these kids, the hitters will try to find some kind of tendency with the pitcher. Anything that they can do to try to pick up something as far as them tipping the pitches.
This one off the end of the bat, hit up the middle all the way to the center field wall, and Myers stretches it into a double. Not easy to do in this ballpark.
No, absolutely, and it was a great play by Halpin, the center fielder, and Klingman, the shortstop, almost gets back in time to get the runner at second. You see a ground ball that just continues off this turf straight up the middle and straight to the fence. No hesitation by Myers whatsoever. Nice little play there. Klingman, the shortstop, almost got the runner for the third out. But you look at the tendencies, you know, I watch the pitchers, and, you know, at this age, so much to think about. You don't want them to start thinking about, oh, am I moving my glove? Am I digging for pitches and all this stuff? But you pretty much know exactly what's coming if you're a hitter, the way they throw and the way they start digging and moving the ball around.
Well, even really savvy veteran big leaguers find themselves sometimes tipping pitches as Kip Kuchera rolls one weakly to the first base side, and good job by Monier covering the bag to win the inning. 2-out double is for naught. We've played 1.5. West leads by 1. Tap just over his head, and charging in from second base was Browning, but he just didn't have time to get it there. King with an infield hit.
Yeah, there's one of those turf hits we saw in the first game. The ball's bouncing over the heads of the infielders, and that's one of those ones he hit off the front of the plate, or actually the front part. You see this right by the plate, just gets over the pitcher, and King had enough to get down the line to beat that out for the first hit. For his first hit.
Ball one to Chasen Love. Well, the third baseman from Las Vegas. And just like that, it's a 1-on-1 count. Now, Las Vegas has become one of those hotbeds. You know, there's always been a lot of great baseball and development happening in places like Houston and Dallas and Southern California and Florida. Vegas in recent years has emerged as they have produced all kinds of big-time big league talent.
Yeah, absolutely. They run some good tournaments out of there. You know, a lot of big youth baseball tournaments out of Las Vegas, and they've become one of the, you mentioned, hotbeds. You get a lot of places on that West Coast, but everybody goes, well, everybody likes to go to Vegas anyway.
Right.
But they have some great talent. Harper, you know, he was out of Vegas area.
And Chris Bryant. The Cubs. I mean, there are a handful of guys now who have really helped to put Las Vegas on the map for young players.
Hold there, hold there.
And we see a handful of
Let's go 1-9.
combatants here for the West from Las Vegas. So a 2-2 count now on Chasen Love.
Not a great jump over there by first. Good slide step by Walker, and that's one of those things. He's mixing up a little bit. You know, every once in a while he'll lift his leg, and, you know, that's a great opportunity for the guys at first to try to steal that bag, but then he'll slide step, and he's keeping the ball down. He's throwing well. A lot of times you'll see pitchers that the ball's all over the place because they can't get used to that slide step, but these kids have done a nice job.
Barry's out one, and it's a full count now on Love. That slide step is pretty quick, and you know, from our center field camera, the one we're looking at right now, it almost doesn't look like he steps very much at all. Now he does get way down the hill, and it is a full stride to the plate, but boy, it's quick. He doesn't get more than half an inch off the ground with that front leg.
Right, exactly, and the whole idea is to keep the runner close. You have to mix it up, and everywhere you have to do it.
Well, that time he went a more conventional leg kick, but lost Love anyway. King was running. The walk puts the first two men on in this last of the second.
And that's the only problem. I mean, when you have someone, you know, at this age, and even though their talent level and fundamentally they're way beyond what I've ever seen since when I was growing up, and even some of the kids, you know, around the United States, you talking about slide stepping, and the next thing you know, you lift your leg your next pitch. It's tough to repeat. You know, mechanics, especially this kid's a big kid. You know, Walker's a big kid, probably over 6 foot, or at 6 foot, and you know, you have to repeat those mechanics. And you know, once you slide step, you're keeping the ball down. And I think, from what I see now, both games, the pitchers are having a hard time with the mound, just from the height. It's nothing to do with, you know, it's a portable mound. It's 50 feet from the home plate. But the hardest thing is when you have a mound at that height, and the drop is getting used to it.
Yeah,
sometimes there's a gradual slope in mounds, even though they're high. This one looks like it's a real steep slope, and the hardest thing to do is to adjust to that. And to adjust to that, you have to you have to almost not stride out and stand up a little more. You just saw a balk, or actually, what is it, hit batter? And a hit batter right there, Graff. And we have bases loaded, nobody out. Let's watch the pitch.
Nobody out here.
I don't know where that got him. I don't think the hitter even got him.
Now, the call is a little confusing there.
Yeah.
Press him in the zone here. What's it
But
here?
I didn't even see his uniform move, did you?
no, I didn't either.
Go, bud.
And from the angle we had, it didn't look, quite honestly, like it came all that close. But they're loaded now.
Good pitch, good swing. Let's go.
And
But it's
Picone
tough. It's tough with the slope, you know, and it's stuff, you know, it's mounds all around that you have to get used to as a pitcher. It's one of the main things. That's one of the hardest things to do is get used to it.
Picone hits one on a line to second, but it is ultimately dropped. They'll go to second for the one out, and they'll tag out the runner at third. An unconventional double play, but Browning to Strickland to Myers. 4-6-5 double play. You just don't see that one very often.
Well, it was awful tough for any of the runners. You have a line drive, and you don't know if the second base is going to catch this ball. It does. It hits in his glove. Great play by Browning, and he's heads-up play by going to second, getting the forced out, and then the shortstop Strickland throwing it to Myers the third to get the and had to tag the runner. There we have another hit batter. That time he did get hit.
Well, they managed to get a run in on the double play, so it is a 2-0 lead. No RBI for Picone, but I don't think he minds. And now 2 runners out there for the leadoff man, Ellie Klingman.
But what a heads-up play by Browning, you know, just to try to come up with that and stop it. I mean, that ball could have easily gone out to right field after you come in and dive for that ball. You know, the runners, there's nothing you could do as a runner. You got to get back to the bag. You can't all of a sudden go on that play thinking that Browning's not going to come up with it. Good heads-up play by going to second base, getting that lead runner, and then also the shortstop Strickland going over to third to get the second out.
So still 2 away. 2 men out there for Klingman. Good pitch on the inner half, and it's 0-2. Klingman flied out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Just a little fella in the 0-2. Tomahawks it toward second base, where it plunks the runner Chambers. Browning will get credit for the putout, and the inning is over. A run scores, some great defense, difference maker as we go to the third.
American.
Third we go. Interesting play to end that bottom of the second inning. Klingman bounced it towards second, and as you can see,
It hits Chambers right in the hip. That's a great teammate right there, because that's a routine ground ball out. But you know what? And
Get him
you
the
know,
hit.
Klingman would have been a 4-3, no at bat or over, and they got to give that a base hit. Klingman's get the base hit out of
so
that.
I see. So he's a good teammate.
That's a big time teammate right there. Give your guy, you know you're going to make the third out. You might as well get it, take it in the hip.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting take on
Why
that,
not?
Nelly.
I know Chambers wasn't, you don't think about that. He's trying to fool the second baseman into trying to mess him up a little bit and little deep. But hey, that's a good teammate, man.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what? I'm gonna pick you up. I'll give you a hit here in the All-Star Challenge.
Klingman will take it, I guess. Here's Wachter, his first at bat. Giving up a run in each of his 2 innings on the mound, and it's fallen behind in the count here, 1-2. One thing I've liked the work of both home plate umpires we have seen so far today. That one catches the corner, strike 3 called on a Wachter. But I like the fact they call strikes. I mean,
Well, you hope so.
You got to be up there swinging.
Yeah. Well, you hope they call some strikes.
Well, you would.
I would, yes. Everything I threw was a strike. I didn't throw balls. You watch this little slider down and away. Nice little frame job right there, but Tinayero.
So Grant Aycock now the left side. He wants to bunt his way on.
Lay one down, see if he can catch Love playing back in left field at third base, playing deep. He said, oh, this is an all-star game, man. You know, there's no bunting in the all-star game. But you know what? You got to get some runners on the base. You know, the East hasn't scored a run. They're down 2-0. Munier's been dealing on the hill. Nice and easy, you know. He's not trying to overthrow, throwing strikes.
No, his first pitch of the game, right? I think went to the backstop or thereabouts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got to hit the bull. You know, that's the whole idea. You got to be intimidating. If the other team has no idea if this pitcher knows where it's going, it just rings through the rest of the lineup.
0-2, and a high bouncer to the right side of the infield, and
great play.
Nicely played by Graff with Munier covering.
Again, another 3-1 that we've seen. You know, these fundamentals and the mechanics. You know, I never went over and covered first base when I was a pitcher. I'm like, there's no, I didn't even do it in the big leagues. Forget it. But that was a great play by the first baseman Graff, and Munier getting over there to cover the bag for the putout. You watch this. Watch, nice throw. Catches the ball, then looks for the bag later. You'll see a lot of pitchers go over there. They start looking for the bag and assuming the ball's going to hit them in the mitt. Next thing you know, they take their eye off of it, and it's an error. But a great job right there.
I think those are tough plays too for the first baseman.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that's not a routine throw more times than not.
No, and a lot of times you have to lead the pitcher to run over there, and you're deep by second base. There's no way the second baseman Corona is going to get that ball and be able to throw the runner out. Good play by the first baseman. Outstanding play by Munier.
Just a little bit up there to Browning. It's a 3-0 count on the East leadoff hitter. West with the 2-0 lead. Loses him. So Browning down at first, and now you always have to be wary of guys running.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Here you go again. You get 2 outs, 2 quick outs, and you walk the third place hitter, and you know those 2 out walks always come back to haunt you. Hopefully it doesn't here, and you just settle them down. You see the team getting together out on the mound, just settling down Munier a little bit. Say, hey, listen, man, let's get this third out. Concentrate. Forget about the runner. He means nothing. This is the tying run right here at the plate for Strickland. You know, just continue to do what you're doing. Throw strikes.
Dalton Strickland, he was hit by a pitch in the first inning. He takes strike 1.
There you go, nice breaking ball.
Yeah, he bounces it up there. 1-1 the count, but Browning holding tight at first, not going anywhere.
You know, we'll see a lot of these kids later in the week. We're talking to these coaches, and you know about pitching. We talked a little bit about that first game with Charles Brown, the coach of the South. He says, you know, I got to be aware with some of these kids.
Strickland hits one well to right field and gone. A 2-run homer, and that has just tied the game.
Well, we talked about the 2 out walks and how you don't want them to come back to haunt you, and that definitely came back to haunt Munier. Got a ball up in the zone. And with the short porches and the ball flying out of here, Strickland got it up in the air, dead center field to tie this game up. See right here the pitch, up around his letters, stayed with it. Smoked it.
Tell you what, it is a truth of this ballpark. No lead is safe. I mean, it is akin to the old Coors Field, if you will, or.
Well, you want offense? Everybody's complaining about offense. Come watch these kids.
Yep. A, they can hit, and B, you know, you get a little bit under a ball here and you have a real shot, as Strickland just showed us. 2-2 game now. Asa Runge, the hitter, and takes one way off the plate, ball 1.
No, Munier slipped on that one. You talked about some of the kids wearing sneakers or tennis shoes out on the mound. He's got the rubber spikes going, and he slipped on that one.
Yeah, and he did it again right there as that one missed low. I think I've been around a lot of these mounds, and I just don't.
Have you ever thrown off one?
I have.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't, and they can be difficult, and especially when you're wearing those spikes.
Yeah, you'll see guys with tennis shoes, and you know Munier's got the rubber spikes on, and you know sometimes they don't get a good grip.
He gets 6 inches to a foot of slide on each pitch. That's really difficult.
Yeah, you see it right there. that he's sliding on every pitch, and then it starts playing in your mind. You say, okay, am I overstriding? I got to shorten it up a little bit. You know, this might be one of those opportunities that he goes in between innings or something and changes shoes if he goes out for a fourth.
Oh, that ball well struck, and it's not coming down for a while. Solo home run. Asa Runge, are you kidding me? That was crushed.
And I think he knew that. Hopefully we see the replay of what Asa did after he hit it. I know he crushed it. But yeah, did a little showboat at the plate, flip, little bat flip. Watch it the whole way. I guess if you hit it that far, watch this. Smokes it. Admires. Little bat flip. How about that one?
Wow.
Well, you get 2 quick outs, the next thing you know, you're down 3-2. It's that 2-out walk. And you just mentioned in this ballpark, anything can happen. You get the ball in the air. Now, that probably would have been out anywhere. Now you find yourself behind 3-2.
Deontay Starks watches that one all the way to the backstop.
I mean, Meunier has been throwing well. You know, it's just the idea. Now you look at him, and I think this, him slipping on the mound, and also we just looked at his fingers. It's awful hot. You get the kid sweating out here. You know, hard for him to control the baseball right now. And now everything's starting to play in his head. And right there, he slips again.
I mean, he's sliding down that hill with each pitch. I mean,
right.
It's, until his foot hits ground. That is, you know, among things, it's probably not that safe.
No, exactly. And you just saw him right there. He switched. He switched into the stretch position. You know, now he was throwing. You watch him slide.
Yeah, see,
it's like bowling. You got the bowling shoes going in the bowling alley.
Exactly, and that's out of the stretch.
Right.
When he's in the windup, I mean, it's
well, he just switched. He was in the windup, and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna have to go from the stretch to see if I can, you know, get the ball down and not have that play into my head." But you know, he's slipping. You're right. He's slipping on every single pitch.
Still 2 outs, but a 3-1 count to Starks. Oh, he chased one. He chased ball 4 right there. Full count.
Well, I saw Strickland and Runge go back to back. He said, "I want to go back to back to back." He said, "Give me one of the fastballs, and I'll put it up in the air and see where it goes."
Ooh, good looking pitch, and that's strike 3.
Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate for Meunier.
Down looking to end the threat. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, but a couple of home runs, including this one by Asa Runge. And it's put the East on top for the first time today.
For the first.
On CBS Sports Network with the All-Star Challenge. Some of the top Little Leaguers in the nation lay it all out on the line tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. You know what? I think I'm gonna be there for it. Is first pitch of the 3rd inning hits Emilio Corona right in the head, and he takes first base.
You're going to be for what? You'll be where that's the 3rd hit batter from Wachter, and you see a little bit different. He's got the tennis shoes going. I don't know if he's slipping like Meunier. No, he's staying. Oh, this one's a dead fastball right in the back of the head. What are you going to be there? You're going to be where? Be right here for it?
Yeah, I'm planning on
Front row?
watching that game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tinajero. And runner going. Corona with a steal of second.
Well, no shot to get the runner. You see Wachter with the leg kick. You know, the only way you have a shot. And Pelcher behind the plate. You know, he's got an outstanding arm. You just saw a throw from his knees right there to second base, and you're going to have to give your catcher a little bit better time.
Tinajero gets under this one and hits it a long way to straightaway center. 2-run homer. And the West jumps back in front by a run.
Well, the wind's blowing out. The park's not, you know, it's a great park. The feet, you know, probably what, 225, 230. You get anything up in the air, and that was a ball up in the zone. And Tina Yarrow just crushed it, and he knew it as well. He didn't do the bat flip that Runge did, but you know, he kind of knew that it was gone and trotted around. And he was able to high-five Catalano. Watch this swing. Fastball up in the zone, got under it. Well, he did do the bat
a little
flip.
something there.
Wow.
It put a little something on it.
All right.
And then did the, I think we call it the whip.
Was that the Reggie Jackson? You know, Reggie hit it, and all of a sudden, you know, threw the bat.
Flip it. Yep.
Good job. Good job.
These kids are either used to hitting home runs with okay, I know I got it, or okay, you know, Runge did it. I'm gonna show him up again.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna do it on the other side.
Well, pitching change now for the East. So they're gonna mix things up a little bit here, trailing by a run, 4-3. The score. We'll tell you about the new hurler in just a moment.
Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent.
Hosick chatting down the line.
No 13. Like they could probably be.
Well, we heard him earlier. All you have to do is pop the ball up, the ball's flying. Well, it is. You know, it's. We've seen some bombs. I mean, these kids are hitting it a long ways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have our new pitcher.
TJ
Jasper.
Pound.
You sure you got the right cat?
It's the West, right? The East? I don't know. Number 7. Oh, no.
No, it's Jasper Stanfield. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Both of them have number 7.
I know, you jammed me up there a little bit. It's hard to keep them all straight.
I know. It's one of those things, the bat flips are getting to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure
Making you
something out.
crazy.
Hey,
There you
need
see him,
one more?
5'5".
One more?
115 pounds of fury, and he's going to bring it right now, the right-hander. Got a little bit of
Hey, you
a
all right?
kind of a
Reach up right now.
sidearm,
Something under your hand?
maybe low 3/4 delivery. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the eye black going. There you go. Good mechanics. Stays back over the rubber. Nice balance. You just need some strikes. You get 0-2. You give up 2 runs and let the West right back into the game to take the lead.
Breaking ball, but left over the middle of the plate, popped up into center field, and the right fielder, Kuchera, ranges over to take that one away.
Well, that's a good play. That's what center fielder's ball Starks, but Kuchera went over there, and you know, I was just waiting for that ball to drop. I mean, usually the center fielder is supposed to be the general and take care of that and say, okay, I got it, but he gave way to Kuchera, and he did a great job of staying with it, not letting the center fielder. If you're going to call it, you might as well take it, unless that center fielder comes in and calls you off. And then, you know, you get these kids that they don't play with you know, they're not teammates, and they're all from all different teams, and usually, you know, you find when guys don't play together, that ball's dropping. But good play right there by both the center fielder Starks and Kuchera.
Henry Mounier now, he lined out in the first inning, 0 for 1 today. Yeah, I think the other thing, and you touched on this earlier today, is that a lot of these kids, you know, this is an all-star team, kids from all over the country with very limited spots. You're looking at a lot of shortstops, center fielders, and the cleanup hitters.
Right, exactly.
And they've all got to kind of fill in different roles today, which, you know, can lead to little communication failures, or, you know, a lot of alphas going after the play.
Well, we were over there talking to the coaches. I mean, we even heard when he was setting up their lineup. Okay, what position do you play? Where do you want to play? You know, these kids play everywhere. I mean, I like it because you don't just, okay, I'm a pitcher or I'm a catcher and I don't play any other position. I mean, these guys, you got catchers going to third base, shortstops coming in to pitch, going out to right field. You know, it's amazing that these guys are playing every position. They're doing it well. And you're right. And most of these kids, you're talking about the bottom half of the lineup, are probably 3, 4, 5 hitters on their own team.
One out. Hey, Davion, let's go, bud.
It's a 1-out walk to Mounier, and now Davion King. King started the second inning with an infield hit, eventually came around to score. They have scored in every inning so far, the West. one catches a corner. So Wachter done, and Jasper Stanfield on in relief. And we did mention this earlier. Runner going, pitches the ball, throw to second, and they got him.
Nice throw by Pelcher. We've seen his arm. That was a BB shot right down to second base. Great throw right there. Awesome arm.
Take another look.
Good jump, but right on the money. Outstanding throw by Pelcher.
Boy, that is pretty nifty, getting a look from that center field camera. 1-2 to Davion King. And he's down swinging to end the inning. So 2-run score. The home run by Vincent Tinajero. And it is given the West the lead once again. The long ball today here at Baseball Heaven. In the top of the 4th inning. Trying to think, you know, some of the smaller pitchers that you see in the big leagues who are really effective. You know, Pedro Martinez.
Pedro Martinez wasn't that big. Yeah. What was he, maybe 5'10"?
Yeah.
And that guy threw 98 miles an hour. Well, I think, let's see, they had a lefty, Collins, a lefty from Kansas City. It was probably around 5'7", 5'6". He threw hard too, about 92, 93, maybe 95.
Yeah, conventionally, you'd think that the taller pitchers would have an advantage, the angles and that sort of thing. But not always the case. And of course, you know, I mean, you know, we talked a little bit about mechanics and repeatability and those types of things with these young kids. You relate it to Randy Johnson, the now Hall of Famer. Just went in. It was 6'10". His first pitch to Pelcher in there for strike 1.
Well, obviously the taller guys are going to have an advantage on the mound, and usually you'll see pitchers that are taller, you know, throw because of their arm angle. I mean, you get the slope of the mound, it puts another, what, 10 inches, another foot onto your height. The stride that you are, and you're cutting off some of that distance, 60 feet 6 inches, and you get a downward slope. I mean, when you teach kids how to throw, it all depends on their height, but the taller kids, you have a better angle throwing to home plate. When you get a kid that's about 5 foot, you know, like Chambers, their ball flattens out a little bit. You know, sometimes you'll get the tall kids that think that they have to break down, and they break down that back leg to become smaller, and their ball flattens out and becomes a level plane. It's easier for the hitters to hit. But you get a downward motion. Some of the taller pitchers have that downward angle in their throw, in their pitch to the plate. That's where they have a lot of that success. So for the little guys, they have to stay tall. They have to pretend, you know, almost say to themselves, I got to be 6 foot, and I don't want to break down and become any smaller, because then the ball flattens out.
Well, it's 3-2 to Pelcher. Ooh, well, didn't miss by a whole lot, and ends up surrendering the leadoff walk.
Well, I think, you know, just both teams, and you know, both these guys, or all 4 of these teams, saw the home run derby yesterday, and they know that, okay, this is probably not a normal dimension that we're used to playing on. And the ball flies. You know, ball's carrying it. It's getting out. And as a pitcher, sometimes, you know, especially at this age, it starts playing in your head. You know, okay, I got to keep the ball down. Anything up or anything in the air that these hitters are able to do, you know, put a piece of the ball or a piece of the bat on, has a chance of getting out.
Well, they're anticipating Pelcher running, and he did, but couldn't execute a pitch out or whatever the design was there, and Pelcher ends up stealing second easily.
So I think they're a little, you know, intimidated in some ways to say, okay, I don't want to throw the ball up in the zone. Next thing you know, I got a 2-run homer, or I got a homer, a grand slam. We've seen the ball fly.
Yeah, it'd be hard to fault them.
No, exactly, exactly. But you know, that's going to that's going to come with confidence and not worrying about the pitch. You know, you can't play you can't play to the park. You can't pitch to the park. I mean, when you're in the big leagues, you're playing in places like Texas and, you know, Baltimore where the ball flies, Cincinnati in the All-Star game. You know, you have parks around the league that the ball's going to carry more than others. You don't change your game as a pitcher. You know what? I can't go and pitch differently because I'm in Fenway and you have a big green monster. I mean, I got to pitch where I'm normally supposed to pitch.
Surely you saw guys though who let the ballpark get in their head a little bit.
Well, exactly. And those guys don't last very long. You know, you get the ones that say, you know what, I can't change my game. I don't care if I'm at Fenway or if I'm at a big stadium that the ball doesn't carry. It's a pitcher's park. Or a place where the ball flies out, because you know anytime the ball gets in the air to the outfield, if you're pitching, you're thinking, okay, don't go home, don't get out, catch that ball. But it's just like here, you throw strikes and you know what, you move the ball around a little bit and you have some confidence, and if it gets in the air and it gets out, then you tip your pat to the hitter.
Well, Chambers did lengthy battle with Pelcher before losing him to the walk. He's subsequently stolen second base, and now another extended at bat here with DeLucia. And it's another full count, so he is expending a lot of energy and using a number of pitches here per hitter.
Well, absolutely, you got a one-run lead. You like to see him throw strikes, but at the same time, you know, you want to try to get a ground ball instead of have the ball lifted in the air. DeLucia has put some good swings on the ball. He's got that uppercut going. He wants that ball in the air and see if he can travel either off the wall or over the wall.
So back it again for a payoff. Pardon me, payoff here coming from Chambers. Left that one up a little bit, but popped it up near third and handled over there by Love for the first out of the inning.
Well, it was a good pitch up in the zone, and DeLucia was, you know, you saw the uppercut he did. He got under that. You know, he's trying to hammer the ball out of the ballpark instead of, you know, put a level swing on it, and he got under that pitch, a ball up around the letters, and he helped out the pitcher right there, Chambers, and he got a nice pop up to third base and foul territory for the first out.
Pelcher stays at second base. And strike one to Logan Myers right there on the outside corner.
Good 8 inches outside.
I mean,
that's a nice zone right there, huh? I would stay out there. I mean, there's no way that Myers is going to be able to hit that ball hard anywhere.
That one bounces to the plate. Pelcher was headed to third and picks up another link on the base pass.
Well, you got the tying run. I was going to say 90 feet, 70 feet away.
Yeah, 70 feet.
1 for 1. Big base hit in that first at bat. Actually, it was a double.
1-1 pitch. Oh, very late. In a hole now.
And the West willing to give up that run. They don't have the infield in. Infield's playing back. Even the corners, the first baseman and the third baseman are playing back. You think that, okay, you would bring the corners in to maybe cut that run off.
Boy, got in on him a little bit there, and then the bobble by Love will mean no outs at all. Pelcher comes in from third. This game tied up.
Well, great running, heads-up running by Pelcher at third base. Knowing the outfield was playing back or the infield was playing back, you're going to run on any ball that's hit on the ground. And Love had a hard time. He had an easy hop and, you know, got up on him, almost played him a little bit and hit off his waist. And there's no way you're going to get the runner Myers at first base.
That's a tough one. You know, so many times you want those infielders, you know, charge, you know, make a play on the ball. And it seemed like that's what he did. Like he was going after that ball aggressively, maybe just a little too much.
Well, you know you're going to get a true hop off these turfs. You know, off the turf. It's going to get to you quicker. You know, we've seen some hard shots come at some of these infielders.
Kuchera with a high bounder third. Second chance for Love, and he makes good this time. Retiring Kuchera. Myers, though, does advance to second base.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was a good play by Love. You know, that's one of those plays that, okay, I get a ground ball, I'm thinking second base, but you heard everybody yell 1-1-1. Let that guy, there's no shot at getting him at second. get that easy out over at first, and you know, he makes up for that play, and you know, gets Kuchera for the second out of the inning.
So now we will Wachter was due up, but when they made some changes.
Yeah, I think Stanfield's going to have to hit number 7, the one who came in to pitch.
Oh, here he comes. So with the free substitutions, in and out, you can come in a game, you can leave the game, you can go back in again. It's almost like softball has that rule for like a courtesy runner kind of thing. It's a little bit more expanded than that even, which is sort of.
Oh, it's just, you know, tell your kids, you know, whenever you want to go in, just run in, just tag out.
Let's go.
Tap out like wrestling.
So Stanfield, who came in to pitch, will bat here for Wachter. 4-4 game.
Myers is able to take third on that, I guess you want to say pass ball. Another ejecto mitt.
So Chambers from the stretch, the 1-0. And that one is popped up. Shallow right field. The second baseman, Corona, out there to make the play, and it ends the inning. A run does score, however, for the East, and we are all tied up.
When did food become...
Little Texas Hold'em.
Little
Have
Texas
that
Hold'em.
ham.
See the river guard. So we'll see. We'll see which one of these teams can execute in these final few innings. You know, the first game of this All-Star Challenge, we saw the Central and the South, and that was basically a tale of two different games. At the very beginning, we saw the 7-0 run by the South, but then the Central came back 2 huge innings in the 4th and 5th to take control. They won it 12-9. So, you know, you may get a feel for these games inning by inning, but I mean, it can turn on a dime here.
Well, because you know, you look at the pitching limits. You're only allowed to throw 6 innings in this All-Star Challenge, and you know, with the South, they wasted their best guy. They threw 3 innings, and Huff couldn't throw anymore. And here we're seeing some better pitching. It looks like both teams have a better variety as far as more pitchers or more guys that are able to throw strikes than, you know, the first game that we saw. But also some of these kids are going to wind up throwing, you know, at some point in this tournament. So those old coaches have to be aware of that as well.
A tough little cue shot toward short, and really nothing that the East could do. Strickland charged it, but Chasen Love has an infield hit.
Yeah, I don't think Strickland got a good grip on the ball. You see the high chopper over the mound, and he just couldn't get a good grip on the ball, and you know, basically lobbed it over to first base. He's got the blue lips going.
Here's Kraft, and that one just got a piece of him. First 2 men aboard in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, grazed his shoulder of the uniform, a little breaking ball that hung over the inside part of the plate and just hit Graff in the shoulder. We're going to have a pinch runner. Vaughn Taylor, number 6, comes in for the West. You got a little story about Vaughn Taylor, right?
Oh, it's an interesting kid. He was born in New York, but now lives in Kuwait, and was invited stateside to try out for some teams. He was seen, and there was a lot of interest, and they said, hey, you should play for this West All-Star team. And so he's here from Kuwait to play in this tournament. His mom works for the UN, and he said, basically said, you know what, the exchange rate is so much better over there. We just like it there.
Yeah.
You know, you make a buck there, it's worth 3 in the United States. Strike pinned right on the outside corner there to Picone.
A nice pitch by Stanfield. He's mixing it up a little bit, even with first and second. Goes from the windup almost like Louis Tion, where he steps and turns all the way to second base, and then right there he just slide stepped.
Fires another one right in there.
Not
One
been
and
to
two the
Kuwait.
count.
It's not. It's,
Oh, you have?
I have.
What's
Been
hotter?
a few hotter? Oh, it's hotter there.
Hotter there,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Ooh, just missed. 2 and 2. What were you doing in Kuwait?
I was doing a little USO tour, and that was one of the stops that we flew in from. I want to say, you know, the United States. We flew straight into Kuwait. That's when I went to Iraq to support our troops, and we stayed there for a little bit.
Little cue shot, and that one dribbles out in front of the plate, but a foul ball.
And it was about, I think it was in September, and it had to be well over 100 degrees.
Oh, really? Now, who were you there with?
We went, let's see, it was, my goodness.
Yeah, take your time.
Alan Ashby,
Okay.
that pitched in the big leagues from a lot of it was San Diego, and I think the Astros. And left fielder for the Red Sox back in my day from the Carolinas.
Ted Williams?
Yeah, well, close.
This back in your day, though, right?
Yeah, back in my day.
Mike Greenwell?
No, this was in the 90s. He always hit Clemens real well. I'll think of it.
Well, we promised more
I'm having a
trips
little
down
cramp,
memory lane.
brain cramp right now. I'm losing names.
I bounder first. Nicely played down there by Runge. And there is one out in the inning, but Love to third and Taylor to second base.
Trot Nixon, there you go. Thanks
Trot
for the help.
Nixon.
Exactly. Why wasn't I? So you go over there and you had a lot of Red Sox Yankee fans in the military, so it was nice. I mean, it was the only time we got along. We were over there supporting the troops. But we went over there. We stayed there for a couple days, and we visited the base in Kuwait. And I tell you, we flew over from Kuwait to Baghdad, and it had to be well over 100 degrees. And then you get on the plane, it had to be 135 because there was no air going through that plane, on the military plane. And it was like unbelievable.
Kate Chambers takes one very high for a ball. Now, if I bumped into Trot Nixon or Alan Ashby or
Or Andy Ashby.
Andy Ashby, okay, yeah. Alan Ashby was a catcher.
Yes, Andy Ashby was the pitcher.
Would they, if I asked them, like, oh, you went to Kuwait, who were you, would they say, oh, what, Jeff Nelson?
They probably do the same thing.
Or
Have
would they
somebody tell them in their ear when I got a little brain cramp and I can't remember names right now. I got too much going on here.
No lunch today for you. I mean, we're just working back-to-back games.
Nice
Fastball.
pitch.
Yep.
Stanfield. Picone did a great job. First, second, nobody out. Hits the ball to the right side, able to move those runners up. Now you have second and third, one out.
Bunt down the first baseline. It sounds like
A
the
little
squeeze was on, but not everybody knew it.
Yeah, exactly. You have Coach Mike Valiendo over there at the third base, and he called for the squeeze play, and you can hear him yell.
Go, go, go,
As
go, go.
soon as Chambers squares around, that runner at third, Love has to go, and he's yelling him, go, 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 go. And it just didn't happen that way.
No play on this time, and this one popped foul back behind the plate and way out of play. So Chambers doing battle here with Jasper Stanfield.
Well, again, for the East, the infield is back, even at the corners. You think, sometimes you'll see the corners, the first baseman and the third baseman play. Because you have second and third, I can understand you're going to give up the run for an out at shortstop and second base. But sometimes the corners, you want them to play in, cut that run off. You get a big strikeout there by Stanfield. Up in the zone, up around the eyes. Chambers fishes for it.
Now, those long at bats, you think more and more the advantage begins to tip toward the hitter. And so when you get a strikeout like that, that is big.
That's huge. It has a nice cutter on the outside part of the plate.
Oh, two gone. And back to the top of the order for Ellie Kligman. I think I inadvertently put an N in there
yes.
earlier today. It's Kligman. And that ball hit the other way, and the right fielder Cochera twisted up. 2-run score on the double to right field by Kligman. West back in front again. It's a 6-4 game.
Well, absolutely. First pitch out on the outer half up in the zone, and Kligman did a great job of hitting it the other way, not trying to pull that pitch, and he hits it over the right fielder's head. And you could see Kuchera get turned around a little bit, saw that ball. He started out to his right and then went back to his left and wasn't able to get back to catch that ball. It was going to be a tough catch anyway, but it hit off the bottom of that wall, and it's a little cement piece on the bottom, and it ricocheted off there. No chance of getting the runner at second base. We have a 2-run lead by the West. Big 2-out hit.
Julio Corona now.
Great swing right there out of you. Give me another good
Hit by a pitch his last time up. Also singled in this thing. He's scored twice, stolen a base, so he's been busy. Oh, the West hasn't really flinched in this thing. They methodically scored a couple of runs, seems like every inning. And even with the East starting to come back with that 3-run third, another run in the fourth, the West just chips away at it. 1 and 2 runs at a time.
Right, you can see a little frustration from Stanfield out on the mound. He thought maybe that ball was going to be caught in right field and get out of that inning.
Another shot out to right field, and this one is caught by Kuchera. It ends the inning, but one batter too late. A 2-run double by Kligman has put the West back in front. Yaphank, New York, with Jeff Nelson, Dave Raymond, and just really excited to be joined as we go to the 5th inning by Dusty Baker. Dusty, what's going on?
Well, what's going on is everything. Baseball here.
My favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorite guys right here. I never got to play for him, but always against him.
Yeah,
Plus,
I know.
he was always in that other league.
I was like, oh, no, here comes Nelly.
Yeah, Nelly.
Yeah, but I'm out here, helping out and, sponsored by Britta. I'm one of the guys that just joined the team. And, I mean, this is outstanding out here. I've never been to Long Island. And, man, I didn't know there's this many trees out here.
Right.
In Long Island. It's beautiful.
It is.
Did you know it was this hot?
Well, I could imagine it's hot. I mean, it's hot all over the world right now.
Yeah,
but I just came from Florida, and you're talking about hot. Boy, this is cool compared to Florida.
I just came from Houston, so I'm with you on that. There's actually a little
that might
breeze
be
here.
hotter, I think.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they got some pretty good ball players out here. I've been trying to, kind of ease around without being noticed so I can watch some of the game because I enjoy watching the game. And I got a 16-year-old son, so I'm out here a lot now at his ball games.
I think we remember your son back in the World Series. What was it?
Yeah, but he was 3 then.
0-2?
Yeah, he was 3 then. Now he's driving, you know what I mean?
Pop up back behind the plate, 2-1 the count on Grant Aycock.
Yeah, so since I've been out of the game, I spent a lot of time, at the ballpark with my son. And, I mean, I am surprised, pleasantly surprised the amount of ability and, that's out here and the way, the support of the parents and, the overall good attitude of the players that are out here.
Nelly and I talk all the time, Dusty, about how, today's game for the youth. I mean, the facilities, the equipment, the amount of games, the scheduling, the exposure.
The uniforms.
I mean, if we got to play 12 games a year, it was awesome. If somebody said, we'll play 13, you'd be, absolutely. These kids playing 60, 70, 80 games a year.
Well, we played a lot of games, being from California. The weather was such where we played a lot of games, but the only thing is we went to the other side of town. I mean, we didn't go to the other side of the country. And, that's the major difference now. I mean, these kids travel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, big time. And, it's nice to see the parents traveling with them.
Yeah, absolutely. What impresses me is that the size of these kids. And I look back when I was, going through this league, and like Dave mentioned, we never played this amount of games. We didn't have year-round baseball, year-round sports. You went sport to sport.
Correct.
The kids, I mean, we have some kids that are 12, 13 years old. They're 6'2".
I was on the other field over there, 6'2", 6'4", and I was like, man, how old is that kid? 12, 13.
Yeah, I know.
And then they come up and, hey, Mr. Baker, how are you? And I was like, man, the voices are deeper than mine, and a couple look like they could even shave, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it
But
is.
you know, the beauty of baseball is it doesn't matter what size you are. And this is what I try to tell some of the smaller kids. I mean, baseball is a game of skill.
Exactly.
You know, just because you're the larger kids, which a lot of the coaches like, and a lot of the scouts like, you know, the larger players. But you know, some of the more skilled players, you know, are the smaller players, and you know, that's the beauty of baseball. Even though, you know, size is important, strength is important, but I think skill is even more important.
Now, do you miss the game very much as far as
Sometimes.
managing?
No,
Want to get back into it?
Yeah, I mean,
You can start out here. You can manage one of the All-Star teams if you want.
yeah, but you know something, you know, it had to be the right situation, and I'm enjoying watching my son. It'd have to be a you know, situation where I think I have a chance to, you know, to win. You know, it's tough to rebuild a team.
Right.
You know, every place you
Games
go.
changed too since you managed.
Yeah, and it's changed, but it didn't have to change. You know, to the extent that it's changed. You know, the game is still the same. I mean, he who crosses home plate the most wins.
Yeah.
And you know, we've kind of complicated the game. You know, so much. I'm looking at games every day. There's almost no hitters. You know, I like to see the hitters, you know, start to swing more. And you know, the game wasn't designed for 4 balls and 2 strikes. You know, which is what I see.
Strickland with the line out to end the inning. A quiet top of the 5th. More with Dusty when we come back.
Americans drink
Press box such that it is. Dave Raymond with Dusty Baker and Jeff Nelson, and you know, we're just having fun watching these kids play. Very talented kids in these facilities. What has stood out most to you about what you've seen out here?
Well, I think the bodies. I mean, these kids have very good bodies. I think probably nutrition is at an all-time high. You know, the parents are more aware, you know, of the kids taking care of themselves, and you know, probably pitching. You know, I mean, everybody has some dynamite pitching. I'm watching this guy on the mound now. I mean, and the mechanics that they've been taught
Right.
at such a young age, and hopefully this will equate to, you know, the lack of injuries to, you know, to the pitcher's arms.
And fundamentally, I mean, these kids surprise me. They know exactly what to do with the ball. There's very few mistakes.
Well, that's
and,
true.
You know, at this age, I mean, plus these kids are playing almost over 100 games a season.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I think that's a little too much.
Right.
'Cause, you know, my son plays basketball and baseball, and you know, I'm glad you know, he does. You know, play, you know, a different sport and use different muscles. But the thing about it is, like you said, we need to take some of this fundamentals to the big leagues. Because I'm watching some games on TV.
Oh, exactly.
And I was like, man, they throw most of the time to the right base. Like I said, they got good attitudes about things. You know, they cheer, you know, for each other. They appear unselfish.
Yep.
And, you know, it's a joy and a pleasure to watch.
You still watch a lot of baseball on TV?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still keep up with it?
I mean, I love baseball.
Right.
I mean, you know, the problem I have is to watch a game in its entirety from the first inning to the 9th inning. I mean, now that's tough.
It is.
Yeah, because it seems like it's 3.5 hours, but I enjoy. I'll tell you the truth, I enjoy MLB when they skip around. And and that makes it you know, very pleasurable to watch a game when they can skip around and see highlights, or this guy's about to do this, this guy's about to do that. And I love watching baseball. I mean, I love to watch it. You know, I was managing when I was playing, and you know, there are a lot of games on TV, and I suggest to these young guys, some of these young kids, you know, watch games on TV. And I talk to some of them, and they say, I don't really have time, or I don't really like it, and you know, something you can learn a lot by watching.
What frustrates you? I mean, I watched the game, and you know, you played in a different era than I did, and then you managed in the same one that I played in, and then you look at it now. There's a lot of things that frustrate me about the game that I don't understand, but what frustrates you most about watching it now compared to when you played and also managed?
Probably, you know, the overall lack of aggressiveness, I think, at the plate, and you know, what really frustrates me are you know, the fact that it's okay to strike out.
Right.
I mean, that probably frustrates me the most, because that was something that was an embarrassment, to strike out with bases loaded. You know, that guy, or a guy hits a home run off a guy tape measure, and he'll like, oh man, way to go. And then it's like, wait a minute, now this guy,
right?
Hey man, we're playing ball. I mean, you know, we're not. I mean, we can be friends after the game. And you know, it just frustrates me some. I mean, you know, like I said, just to see kind of the, you know, the blasé attitude, the you the lack of real competitive juices flowing. You can tell. I mean, a guy stands out on the field out there. I mean, you can tell who really, really enjoys playing and wants to play.
And wants to compete. Nelly was that way.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's funny coming off the Hall of Fame weekend, seeing guys like
Ooh,
Randy
nice
Johnson.
play.
Nice snare at first base by Runge. Doubles it up. Hey, Dusty, great to see you. Maybe you get a chance to do this again this week?
Oh, yeah. I'll be around here. Hey, when Nelly calls, I got to go.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
How about that?
All right, Dusty Baker.
All right,
thanks so
thank
much.
you, man. I'll see you.
To bat, and they're going to have to deal with a new West pitcher. Chasen Love is the new hurler, the right-hander from Las Vegas. 5 feet 5 inches tall. Been playing at third base. See what kind of arm he has.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen some good pitching. Not a lot of scoring from, even though we have a 6-4 game. A lot of good pitchers throwing strikes, keeping the ball down. Not like the first game. So let's see what Chasen's all about. You just mentioned he started over at third base. Now he's coming in to see if he can shut some East players down.
Well, we're seeing a lot of changes now too as we get to these last couple of innings, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, this is the All-Star Challenge. It's going to be a round-robin tournament, and then we will play the championship and consolation games a couple of days from now. We'll televise a couple more of these tomorrow. They will continue to play.
Yeah, well, they have a game at 4
today.
o'clock. Yeah, there's another game. I think the East and the South play at 4, if I'm not mistaken, and then we have one game at 10. There's another shot.
Okay, so Runge to the gap in right center, and that's how we start the top of the 6th.
Oh, fastball, first pitch fastball, and last time, if we remember, Asa pimped one and hit a bomb to right field. This time he smoked one into the right center field gap, and because the short porch gets off that fence, good play right there by Strickland, the center fielder. Or actually, it wasn't Strickland, it was Halpin, the center fielder. Get the ball back in and keep runs as a single.
Now Starks, who's 0 for 2 so far today.
Well, if you're the East, this is exactly what you want. You need runners. You need base runners. See if you can tie this game up. Getting late into the ball game. Top of the 6th inning. Good pitch by Love.
And much better pitching in this game than we saw in the opening game. We've seen some better defense too. Just a all around a more tightly played game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see both of these teams play, either the South or the Central, to see how, we saw the quality of bats the Central bought, even the South. So it'll be interesting. You just mentioned the defense.
Well, bouncer up the middle and a good start from first base for Runge. And with the ball dropped at third, he's able to get in there. Otherwise, he was a dead duck.
Yeah, absolutely. Big throw by Halpin, the center fielder. It was a hit and run. Starks with the base hit up the middle. He takes second base on the throw, but you watch this throw by Halpin. And if the third baseman, Cone, holds on to the ball, that's the first out.
Well, now a pinch hitter here is Nick Morgan. It's the final East player to get in this game. Cotulla, Georgia.
Well, here's an opportunity again. I know you have the tying run at second base, but I haven't seen either one of the corner infielders play in and cut that run off. You have a ground ball to the third baseman. You can cut that run off.
Grounded to short. That'll get a run home. And they go ahead and take the out at first. Starks, meanwhile, advances to third base, so he's just 70 feet away with the tying run in his back pocket.
Well, good heads up running. I mean, you have the coach down, the third base coach down there telling, the runners, say, listen, the infield's back. Anything on the ground, your first move is the home plate. You don't hesitate whatsoever. And that was good heads up running by Runge. And, you score the 5th run of the game. Now the tying run is at third base. You see Mike Valendo out there talking to his squad, basically probably saying the same thing. He said, listen, we have the tying run on third. Maybe he brings the infield in. He might give up that run just to go for a tie ball game. But, you know, if I'm the coach, I'm bringing the infield in. The second baseman, shortstop, everybody right along that infield. You'll see that white line out there on the infield to cut the runoffs.
So, one out. DeLucia, the hitter. And he takes a fastball right over the heart of the plate for strike one.
Yeah, nice pitch down in the zone. That's exactly, if you're the pitcher, the way to get a ground ball is keep the ball around knee high or below, get a ground ball. And, you know, you see the infield is playing in. Because it's a turf, you know, you don't want to go all the way in and then have the ball eat you up. They play about halfway in between their regular position and that line that's on the field. You see him right there, the middle infielders, the shortstop coming up a little bit more, second baseman just maybe 2 steps off that infield line.
Big swing and a miss. Hit a fastball a little bit up.
DeLucia being just maybe a little bit too aggressive.
But Dusty just said he likes the aggressiveness.
Well, he likes it, but you know what? It's not all about, you know, the strikeout has become okay, and it isn't okay. That is a great pitch. It looks like a slider on the outside part of the plate. Nice call by home plate umpire Dan Ferguson. Big pitch right there by Love.
Oh, I should say that's a huge out.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate, man. Good pitch. Now you have 2 outs. That runner on third. You see the infield move back. It's a big out right here. This is where, when you're a pitcher, you have to really bear down and throw some strikes and get out of this inning. Leave it at a 1-run game.
You know, Logan Myers has had a way today of figuring in. He had the big double in the second inning, and he reached in the fourth on an error. And he takes a strike. 1-1.
Well, Love's doing an outstanding job of hitting that outside part of the plate. It's almost like you want to stay there. You know, don't make a mistake inside. You're comfortable throwing the ball away. Stay away.
Talk about a mistake. That one gets away, and it allows Starks to get in from third base. So this game tied at 6.
Well, that fence right behind the plate is really short, but we mentioned the spin of that ball was a breaking ball. It spun away from the catcher Klickman. He wasn't able to get it, even though Love was back and covering home plate. Good heads-up running by Starks at third base to tie the score.
Now 2-1. And that ball hit high in the air down the right field line, but out of play. Let's take a look again at that wild pitch.
We see almost a great block, but it gets off the glove of Klickman and heads up running by Starks at third base. He was going right away. There was no hesitation. There was no chance of getting him at home. Well, there's your aggressiveness, aggressive base.
Right, yeah. And to Dusty's, back to that point about aggressiveness, I think Dusty's saying, you know, there are times and places, but with the strikeouts piling up, and like you say, you know, it should be something that you're trying to avoid. But that's where the aggressiveness is too much.
Well, it is, and
there's
especially
no two-strike approach.
Yeah, there's no two-strike approach, and you know what? You look. We're heading into the beginning of August, and there's already, you know, there's still guys in teams lineups that are batting under 200, and that's uncalled for. You know, either these clubs don't have guys that come up and take their place, or, you know, teams just like, all right, we have 4 or 5 guys in our lineup that are hitting 260, 270. We're happy. We'll just bear with the guy that's hitting 160. Well, it's not okay. You know, I don't care. You know, I don't care how many home runs he has. I mean, you got a guy that's hitting under 200, and it's okay with clubs.
And there's a strikeout that ends it, but a couple of runs come in for the East, and we are all tied up. Dalton Strickland with a man on. Boom. That one ties the game. Next batter, Asa Runge. He knew it. That gave the East the lead, 3-2. But bottom of the third, and right there was Vincent Tinajero, a 2-run shot. That put the West back in front again. Kligman, with this double with 2 outs in the 4th inning, scores 2, and the West was stretching it out. But this wild pitch just moments ago, it scored. DeAndre Starks from third base tied the game. And now, at the bottom of the 6th inning, all even. Dalton Strickland is out on the hill for the East.
Dalton 5'7", 125 from California, or actually I said Georgia. You know, here's a chance. Okay, you just scored 2 runs. You know, go out and try to throw up a 0 like they did the last inning and see if you can get your guys back in the dugout and get the lead. We've got a number of changes. You know, Starks, shortstop, goes out to center field. Stanfield comes out from the mound and goes to shortstop. And Browning goes back into right field. Wachter, who started on the hills, out at third base. There you see Starks out in center. This is the guy that has the blue lips. He's got the blue mouthpiece in. He's got the eye black just all over the face. It's like camo. It's like an army guy. They all got it all over their face. What's this guy? This guy wasn't in on it. Browning missed out on the eye black.
Yeah. Well, maybe they ran out. Pound backs away from the plate. Leading things off here in the 6th inning for the West at a tie game.
Nice pitch. Good breaking ball down in the zone by Strickland. With a little high leg kick.
1-2 pitch, just missed in. Now, do you think you could have, you know, pitched
with a mouthpiece?
With a big mouthpiece in?
I don't think so. You know, a lot of these kids, they'll grind their teeth. I think it's mom and dad. Nice play.
Soft liner to second, but it was dropped, and it allows Pound to reach to start the 6th inning.
Well, that was almost a great play right there by Papa George. Look at the line shot. Gets in his glove, hits him right in the heel. He goes down the slide. No chance to get him back up. Almost made a nice play.
So lead man on. Chasing Love, and he's showing bunt. Pitch gets away, and Pound into second base. So the West, it's funny, you know, during the break, Mike Valiendo, he was there talking to his team, and the words I kept hearing over and over again, small ball. He wants them to manufacture the run, get ahead here, and then just hold them in the 7th. And another one gets away, and again, Pound advances 70 feet. He's at third.
Well, again, the mound, I think, is a big, huge difference, especially for anybody coming in. I know you get your 8 pitches, but or however many they're allowing these kids to throw, but I think getting used to the slope has really affected some of these kids. We've seen a lot of balls in both games come up short and short hop the catcher. There's another one.
Spiked that one in front of the plate, and Kuchera back there wrestling with each of these pitches.
And if you're the runner at third base, you got nobody out, no sense of risking a play at the plate. You know, let that ball go. Let's see what Love can do at the plate. Infield is back. They're not in. They're willing to give up the run. Corners are in though, third base and first base.
Good pitch right in there for a strike. That one just missed, so puts Love on. Men on the corners, nobody out here for the West. And a little confab out on the mound. Eddie Gonzalez heading out there. You see Mike Maliendo talking things over with his hitters. But there's Eddie. Just got done dropping his brother Jerry off in New Jersey today. Kind of an emergency trip.
A little call up on the independent team. Go from coaching to playing. Not away. Might head over there if they have a game tonight. He might be over there and watching them make the drive back.
Valiendo, he's had his team playing well in this one. A pretty well executed game from start to finish for them. And right now the West set up well. 2 men on, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, you got to love the first base. You got to expect some kind of running play here. You know, make things happen. The first baseman, Runge over there, doesn't seem like he's going to be holding the runner on. Well, there he goes. He's going to go hold him on. So I would expect of them to try to steal the base, get another runner in scoring position to see if, you know, maybe they can steal a run as well, maybe with an error.
Runner going, and then the lob throw over third. It gets Pound home, and it may get Love all the way to the plate, and he is in. And you talk about an error, a mistake, trying to force a play, Nelly, and that was it right there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a tough break if you're the East. You know, you get first and third, you have that meeting on the mound, and I'm sure it was all about some kind of running play and stay within themselves. Don't make a mistake, and you get the wild throw by the catcher, Kuchera, that goes over the head of the third baseman, and then you have a left fielder bobble a little bit. Good heads-up running. You watch the pitch here. Good run. You knew Love was going to steal. The air ball over third base and a little boot by the left fielder, Morgan, allowed 2 runs to score. So 2 big errors right there by the East.
Vaughn Taylor backs away from pitch a little bit in and up. It's 2-1.
Heck, if you're Vaughn Taylor, you say, hey man, I want to knock those guys in. I didn't need an error. You're killing me here.
His first at bat, he pinch ran a couple innings ago. We mentioned he's a young man who was born in New York and then moved to Kuwait. Mom works for the UN. Was over here stateside at a tryout and discovered there and invited to be with this West All-Star team. It's a long commute to come play a little baseball.
Yeah, I think it's like a 8-9 hour difference.
Yeah.
Maybe more, maybe 12. I don't know, somewhere around there.
You would remember. I'll
It was too
call
long
Andy
ago.
Ashby and find out. But
Or Allen.
well,
Or
you said-
Trot.
or Trot Nixon.
Call him and see what the time difference is.
3-2. And Taylor spoils that one down the right side. Plays for the Kuwait Cobras when he is back home.
Why don't we ask him? We'll call him over here in between at bats. Hey, what time
the
is
time
it over
difference?
where? Yeah. I think we can do that.
Well, nobody out, and good at bat so far for him, and he hits this ball sharply and into left field. A base hit for Taylor.
It's a nice hit by Taylor. He just drops ahead of the bat and smokes it in between short and third. Oh, by the way, we got, we were told it's 7 hours. See that? He just drops ahead of the bat. 7 hours ahead.
Okay, so they've enjoyed a little evening baseball tonight. Probably streaming.
Think so? I hope so.
MLB.com, watching.
See Vaughn play.
Yeah. Had a good lead and was going to get in ahead of that throw, but forces another mistake by the East.
Well, it's just an errant throw by the pitcher, Strickland. And Runge wasn't able to hold on to it. You have Taylor going back to the bag. You watch the throw here. It's almost, I don't think it was a bad throw. I think it was just a bad catch over there by Runge, the first baseman.
Gave it the old alligator arms.
Yeah. Allows Taylor to get over to second base. You know he can run. We saw him get down the line on that base hit and also take second on that throw.
West leading by 2. Breaking ball, maybe getting the benefit there of some extra space up. 0-2 to Picone. Picone hitless so far in 2 trips. Strickland gets him to swing and miss at strike 3. So 1 out now here in the 6th inning.
Well, here's an opportunity. You have the bottom of the lineup. I know this is an all-star game, but you have the bottom of the lineup of the West. Really important to throw strikes, make these kids hit the ball on the ground or at least in the air to get an out. Leave Von Taylor at second base. You don't want to make any more mistakes. See Von Taylor. See the shortstop Stanfield almost on the bag, and then he breaks back to shortstop to keep Taylor close.
Chambers fights off a pitch, 1-1. There's Stanfield. Got something in his shoe, maybe.
Yeah, look at those rubber pellets. I have them in my shoes.
This ball popped up down the right side and drops in for a hit. Taylor will stop at third base on the Chambers single.
A little surprised that Taylor didn't score right there. Yeah, a little bloop hit down the right field line, and it was fair by at least 2 feet. And the right fielder, Browning, had no shot, or not even thinking about going to home with this pitch. You watch him, he gets it. He wants to go to second base to leave Chambers at first. And Browning's held up. I mean, Taylor's held up at third.
So now Klickman, 2 for 3. I'm with you. When that ball came off the bat, I figured Taylor was going to score. Now a swipe of second base or defensive indifference, however you want to look at it. Chambers now at second base.
Well, you see Stanfield come in. He had a good jump on the ball. And you have the third base coach, Mike Valiendo, holding him up.
Now ball gets away from the plate, and Taylor slides underneath the diving attempt at a tag. Woo.
Well, Dave, you look right there. I don't even think the catcher, Cochero, was even thinking that he was going to score on that play. He comes and picks that ball off the backstop. Next thing you know, you got Taylor running. Watch this. He gets it, has no idea. All right, I'm going to pick it up. He can't even find the runner. 2 feet. That was a 2 feet slide right there. That was like you're going in with 2 feet.
Like a slip and slide.
Yes.
Oh, good breaking ball in there for a strike.
Well, instead of, scoring on the base hit, why don't we just score on the pass ball? There we go. Tagged him up around the neck, but he's already crossed the plate.
Another one bounces up there. And again, Chambers advancing to third on that same play. Have another run just 70 feet away, and now with a 3-run lead. That is their largest lead of the day.
Well, you see the life of a first base coach, just gathering everybody's equipment.
3-1 to Klickman.
Now he's been, now Calianato will know what it's like. I mean, every time he reaches the base, he's taking off the pad and giving it to the first baseman. And, first base coach. That's what you get.
Well, he's well armored down there. 3-2, and that one gets away. So Klickman on via the walk. They're going to look again now. This was that wild pitch. Is it possible Taylor?
I don't know. He got whacked in the jaw with the ball. That was even though you scored the run.
Here's the ball. Contact made.
He's safe. I'm saying he's safe. What do you say?
Well, I mean, history
if I'm
will
New
always
York, I'm calling him safe.
Not enough to
overturn.
Is the argument not enough to overturn?
Well, I mean, I saw Taylor's foot hit the edge of the plate before he got nailed in the jaw by the ball.
Okay. Listen, very close.
Yes. We'll get a new pitcher, Dave. Number 20, DeLucia.
Getting a lot of guys some opportunity here now. Truthfully, the East just needs somebody to put out the fire. A 3-run 6th inning, and it's just made the 7th now a really challenging inning upcoming here for the East, who will be down to their final 3 outs.
From Baltimore, Maryland. A lot of good pitchers came out of Baltimore. Let's see if he's got that same mentality.
A lot of good pitchers.
There's been a lot of them.
Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth was one. The list just goes on.
See, I thought the list was almost done right there.
You start and stop with him.
Jeff Nelson. Baltimore's, what would you be like?
The finest.
Yeah. Do they have like a little, you know, welcome to Baltimore, home of Jeff Nelson sign out anywhere?
Oh no.
They should. That would be.
They should. I agree. They don't even have, I don't even think they acknowledged me at my high school. So what does that have to say?
Well, is that because you pitched for the other team all those years?
Yeah, but I didn't start out that way. I mean, I went to Seattle. Nobody from the East cares about Seattle.
I'm not sure they're aware of Seattle.
I didn't know where Seattle was when I was in high school. That wasn't part of our studies. We cut it off from the Mississippi. Forget it. Anything west of that, you had no idea.
DeLucia in and throws the first pitch to the backstop and allows Kligman to advance to second base.
Now, it's been a great game so far by both sides. You know, pretty even. We've had the tie score 6-6. Now it's 9-6. You know, a couple mistakes here by the East have really let the West come back and take the lead by 3 runs. But overall, it's been a pretty solid game.
It has.
And now, you know, you go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Let's see what happens as far as, you know, who's going to be on that mound for that West to see if they can shut them down.
Emilio Corona up there just spoiled the last pitch. Pops this one up right field. Playable out there for Browning. Makes the catch. Runner tags at third. And Chambers able to score on the sac fly. So a 4-run lead.
Well, the ball was deep enough that it was going to be easily a chance to score by Chambers, you know, on the tag up with a fly ball to right field. And Browning, the right fielder, had no shot at home plate, so he tried to get the runner at third. Made it a close play, but Kligman was able to get in there.
Well, here's Vincent Tinajero. He had the 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. And a breaking ball finds that inside corner.
Nice smile, Zane. Nice smile. I like it. Let's go. Lock back in now. Focus up here.
DeLucia, 4th pitcher of the day for the East. Misses that time, 1-1. Kligman at third base for the West. They'd love to add another run.
Almost got an official in that breaking ball away. Good job by Tinajero to hold up. Looks like Andres Galarraga from the back.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I don't think the big cat pimped his homers.
Not quite with the same flair as we saw
same
earlier.
style.
Yeah. It's a new age. Now there are a lot of people out there now who would argue, hey, you know what? What the heck? My little personality. How about guys having a little fun?
Yeah, possibly. Well, because you know the pitchers aren't going to do anything about it.
Can't.
No, you can't. You get warned and tossed and suspended. You're all done.
Well, a walk there to Tinajero and now Petey Halpin. It seemed like you were bordering on condemning pitchers for not responding.
Condemning them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but what you're saying is
they should respond.
They should respond, even in light
of that big home run right there.
There it goes. Petey Halpin joins the parade. 3-run blast for the West cleanup hitter. And this one is officially a blowout.
Yeah, you get another ball up in the zone, and anything right now we've seen in both games that get in the air to the outfield, you're pretty much, if you're a pitcher, holding your breath, hoping it doesn't get out. But so far, everything has been getting out, and that was a big home run right there by Halpin. Big 3-run homer, and you capitalize on those 2 walks. See a pitch up in the zone, goes the other way. I think he knew it. At least it was going to get off the wall, no doubt. You look at the left fielder, Morgan. Watch out for the cars. That's not a good place to park.
Not today. This one going the opposite way and nearly caught out there in center field by Starks, but it drops in. And it's another base runner for the West. They have batted around
Well, it's almost a great play, like you mentioned, by Starks. He goes over into that gap and makes a diving try. Just hits off his glove, a little upset at himself. Thought he should have caught it.
A 7-run 6th inning for the West, and that breaks the 6-6 tie. Well, now Pound, who started it all this inning, on that ball, it was hit on a line to second base, nearly caught out there by Papa George, and then he rolled over and couldn't hold it. And it has just been basically a carousel of West runners since then.
Where's Emilio? Can you play third? All right, you're gonna go to third. CJ, you're gonna sit in. All right, you're in.
Monnier at first base. That was his first hit of the day. Started the game and pitched 3 pretty good innings for the West.
Good breaking pitch right there by DeLucia. We had catcher's interference right there, Dave. You know, the catcher, Cuchero, stuck out his glove a little bit too far. And Pound just tipped the mitt. Pound gets to take the base.
It's an error on
the catcher.
On Cuchero, and yeah, depending on how you wanted to score Pound's first at bat, I mean, that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be 5 errors. Plus a couple
Right,
wild
exactly.
pitches.
You had that tough play right there when the first 2 guys, Pound and Love, got on, and you had the catcher Cuchero overthrow the third baseman and also the left fielder booting it.
Jason Love, liner to center, and it's caught out there by Starks to mercifully put an end to this inning. 7 runs for the West. Can they hold it? Find out. CBS Sports Network returns to the Diamond for minor league baseball action tomorrow at 7 Eastern. With the South Atlantic League showdown between the Royals and Red Sox single-A affiliates, the Lexington Legends and the Greenville Drive. Right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Sally League baseball tomorrow. That sent us down quite a road last time we discussed the Sally League somehow.
Yeah, yes, that was what.
Oh, your minor league and major league career.
Yeah, Butch Howard, yeah, the one you kept mixing up.
Yeah.
And then my Indians, you know, playing for Cleveland.
You really are going to need to let that one go. Oh, man. Well, it is pretty much the 11th hour for the East now, down by 7. And Cuchero lifts this one into center field, and it is hauled in out there by Halpin for the first out of the inning.
Well, so far, great job by Love. 2 strikes, 2 pitches, 2 strikes, and 1 out. You know, you got a 7-run lead. You just score 7 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning. You know, no sense of messing around. Just throw strikes, and he's been doing that. He's done a pretty much outstanding job. He gave up those couple runs there in the top half, or the top half at the 6th, but overall, he's done a nice job.
Bouncer up the middle. So Stanfield aboard with 1 out in this 7th inning, and that's what they need. Lots and lots of those base runners.
Well, you're down by 7. You might as well, you know, you're going to see a lot of fastballs, not a lot of breaking balls. Might as well still be aggressive at the plate. Nice job by Stanfield. Good base hit up the middle.
So man on. And Nick Papa George to the plate. First at bat today for Papa George. Came in defensively a couple innings ago. And a pickoff to first. They had him, but Stanfield goes headlong into second, is in there safely as the throw got away, and now hops up and goes to third. So a couple of miscues, this time by the West.
Well, it wasn't a very big lead by Stanfield. He got a secondary lead. You see him shaking his hand over there on the slide. But they had him picked off, and Tinayero, you watch the throw, took his time and didn't step and through, try to throw on the run. And the left fielder, Taylor, wasn't backing up the throw and had to go, wound up going all the way to the left center field wall.
So Papa George, they'll take ball one.
And in some ways, you have a 7-run lead. Mistake by both sides. You don't want to get picked off at first base. You know, you want to either make sure that you're going to steal the base, or just, there's no sense of going. And also, if you're the pitcher, why even pick off when you're up 7 runs? You know, I know you had him picked off, and you can say, well, you know what, it should have been an out, and you're right, it should have been an out. And you had an error right there by the first baseman, and it allows the runner to go all the way over to third. But in some ways, it's like, you know what, go ahead, steal, run all you want. I mean, you're
right
13 to 6 right now. And now you find yourself, you know, in behind the hitter, 3-0. You're just extending the inning. I mean, this game should almost be over, and you just sort of go out there and throw strikes.
And there's ball 4, so he puts Papa George on. I mean, I like the idea of, if you're Stanfield, of getting off first base and, you know, eliminating that possibility of the ground ball double play, or the traditional, conventional ground ball double play. And they you know, they might do the same thing with Stanfield on now, send him to second. And to your point, there really is nothing to be gained by dividing your attention on those couple of base runners when you're working with a 7-run lead.
Right, absolutely. And you're talking about the last inning. You just need 2 more outs. You know, you got the leadoff hitter to fly out to center field, and no sense of messing around with a guy at first base. You know, it's, and if you're at first base and you're the runner, I mean, what are you doing getting picked off, or almost getting picked off? I mean, he didn't get his lead until after the throw was already coming over to first base. So the East really got a break there. Now you have first and third. Yeah, you're a long way from tying this ball game up, but anything can happen. A ball in the air, you got a 3-run homer, you get a momentum shift.
2 men out there, and the throw down to second base. And again, I'm not sure I get this. Here comes the runner to the plate, and he'll score. So Stanfield able to score. Papa George to second base, but again, we're seeing the West paying really a lot of unusual attention to the base runners.
Right, exactly. And, you know, the throw was a little high by Kligman, the catcher, down the second base, and, you know, good heads-up running if you're Stanfield over by third. You know, the score on that play made it a little closer by not sliding at home. You know, you got to get down there and slide at home, make sure that play's not even close at home to score that run. But, you know, again, few mistakes by the West. Next thing you know, now it's a 7-run or a 6-run game.
1-0 finds the outside corner. Bobby Browning, or rather Brady Browning, 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored so far today. And they're 2 away.
Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate. Nice fastball. No shot for Browning to get a piece of metal, wood on the ball.
Yeah,
whatever.
I guess. Yeah.
But nice pitch there by Love.
So now Strickland.
Well, the East needs some 2-out thunder here if they expect to come back and score some runs to tie this game. Long way to go, but I mean, they are capable. Heck, they're all-stars, and they'll get the ball in the air, a few hits in there and now and there, and you know what, you never know what's going to happen. But you know, Love, this is his opportunity. If you're a pitcher, you need to bear down. You got 2 outs, you know, get that third, end this game right here.
This is low, 2-0. So Strickland, who homered earlier in the game, had a 2-run shot back in the 3rd inning. Always a threat, but then waiting on deck, Asa Runge was also homered today. The 2-0 is hit down that first baseline for a fair ball. Papa George will score easily from second base. Strickland aboard now, and Runge will get to the plate.
Well, absolutely. Strickland was thinking about going to second on that play. It just gets by Tinayero. You see it right under his glove. goes down the right field line. Good play by Meunier to get the ball back in to the infield. Strong throw to second base. Now you got the middle of this lineup up, and they've done some damage.
Runge went for it all. Popped it up down that left field line. And that one will do it.
Well, we had a big 7-run top of 7th inning, and that's what did it for the West. I mean, it was a good, solid game. Good defense on both sides. You know, you had a lot of runs scored. It was that 7th inning. Few mistakes by the East cost them the game, but what a great game overall. Great 2 games overall, Dave.
13-8, West over the East. Well, thanks for watching. We'll do it again tomorrow in 2 games. For Jeff Nelson and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. This has been a presentation of the CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. It'll be the Doug Gottlieb Show after the break.